Good evening. I am beat. So I started the show. I'm just gonna kick back and take a rest, and you guys can take over. No, I'm kidding. Hang on. Okay, never mind. Had to look to see what Blue was going crazy about. Will you knock it off? Anyway, got a lot accomplished today. Let me turn this down just a hair. Got a lot accomplished today. Quite a bit, actually. So had to help the landlord. That was a fair part of it, and so helped him deal with a lock that he had an issue with, replace a water heater, and a garbage disposal. So that kind of kept me a bit busy today. And then this is the awesome news. I got the drain line in for the grow tent, and the grow tent is currently in there running. So there's nothing planted in it or anything like that. I'm just letting it run. I'll let it continue to run overnight, and then tomorrow I will make a video for YouTube for showing you guys it run the first time, how I did the drain system and all of that, and I'll get it planted tomorrow. So all of that, you should have a video tomorrow come out on me showing you the system running, the drain, and then planting it. So that's awesome. I'm beat though. I am beat. So I got that all squared away. Just been trying to do my best to keeping an eye on the news, and been nuts. It has been absolutely nuts. Lots of headlines throughout the day, spanning a wide range of things. Sorry to Patreon for not getting the morning news report out. Like I say, it was, I can't remember what time he showed up initially. We got other things done too. He mowed the grass. We got some weeding done. So there was other things that we got accomplished as well. So quite a bit of stuff. So I will be doing that tomorrow, and I'm keeping an eye on the weather because I'll be doing the video on the tent. Again, it's going to be basically showing how to put up and take down a one person doing it, a Coleman Weathermaster Elite tent. So I figure there's not a lot of videos out there on those particular tents, and not really for putting it up and taking it down, and especially for the Elite, there's not. That's the little bit more expensive tent. It's got a couple of extra options on it, so it would be good for a video of that, so everybody can see not only the extra options but how to use them. So anyway, other than that, I can't think of any more updates. That's kind of quite a few. So we're gonna talk a bit tonight about this whole door-to-door campaign from Biden. This is concerning me. Now, I had come out long ago from the start of them talking about a vaccine. Back when Trump was president, talking about Operation Warp Speed. I was telling people to be mindful of what's going on. And this is why I don't trust any politicians, folks, none. Okay? Because I don't see a whole lot of them speaking up and saying, oh, wait, there are some, but not nearly enough. These people are supposed to be our representatives, right? That's how this whole shindig's supposed to work. And in my opinion, there's not nearly enough individuals, representatives, quote unquote, that are out there saying, "Oh, wait a minute here. What are we doing?" Because I'm telling you, going door to door, even to ask medical questions, is an issue. And then you have some cat coming out and saying that the government absolutely has the right to know whether or not you're vaccinated. And that certainly raises an eyebrow to me. Now, I was sitting here thinking today, like, okay, let's play out this scenario, shall we? Let's say someone comes to my door and asks me if I've had the vaccine. If I say yes and show my ID, not my ID, but the vaccine card thing or whatever, they mark it down and they move on. What about if they come to my door and I say no, I don't have the vaccine, I haven't had the vaccine, and I don't want it? What happens then? They just mark it down on their paperwork and leave? Because, see, I'm not good with that either. I'm not good with them knocking on my door. I've got a problem at that point. But let's just entertain this idea. So let's say, because there's another option yet. There's plenty of options, right? But let's take it a little bit further. Let's say I do take an approach that, A, I'm not going to discuss my medical information with you. Who the hell are you? Get the hell off my property, yada yada. You know the drill. And it'd probably be much worse than that, but I'm kind of trying to be a little family friendly here. Okay, so then let's say he jots something down on his paper and walks off. Because I have a feeling that's how it's going to go down. Ain't going to be no trouble at that moment. I guarantee it. It's not how they operate. It's not how they operate. So they'll write it down on a piece of paper, whatever the answer is, and move on. So what happens after that? That is what I'm concerned with. Because what happens if you don't fill out a consensus thing and they come roaming around your parts looking for you and you don't answer? They come back, don't they? Sometimes they come back a lot. You know, for your voluntary, not so voluntary census. So I kind of want you to be thinking about that particular thing in your mind as well with all of this. Now, let's say after they've made their rounds, okay, then let's say they contact those individuals that haven't had the vaccine yet, and like more or less give them a last opportunity. Or they just go ahead and full on mandate it. Then what? Do we get a knock on the door at dark 30? Will they even knock? Will the individuals that got marked down on that piece of paper as being possibly combative or resistive or whatever the case may be, will they be rounded up and taken to, things like, maybe FEMA camps? Re-education camps. Maybe I should just call it for what it is. I'm not saying any of this is the case, but I have to ask questions at this point with what I'm seeing go on. And you can't tell me that they went through the expense and the trouble of all that training with Jade Helm, among many others. And I'm just using Jade Helm because it's the one that rings bells in people's minds. There's many operations, many that you should probably be aware of. Operation Mountain Guardian is definitely one, especially if you have children, that you should be aware of. And you should have a plan with your children in place that if things don't look right, if things are a little bit funny, an alternative plan to where you can meet up with them completely outside of the knowledge of anyone else. I'm telling you, if you've got kids, please do that. Especially if those children are in public schools. And if you don't understand why I'm asking you to do that, Google Operation Mountain Guardian. You're going to bring up a bunch of Alex Jones stuff, and that's fine. Okay? The Alex Jones stuff you're going to pull up on it, you can watch that. That's going to be factual information in that. Okay? I'm not saying everything Alex says is golden, but you can trust that. There's even local news reports you'll pull up when you Google it. It won't just be Alex Jones. There'll be local news, other things, because there were parents actually pretty upset over it because the parents weren't even told about it, right? And their children were whisked away from their school and taken to a stadium to take part in a drill. I'll say it again, the parents didn't know anything about it. And part of this drill was they had mock parents, crisis actors, mock parents at this stadium pretending to be the parents of these children. And one of the things that they were doing was separating the men and the women and the children, women and children going one way and the men going another way. And then guess what they did after that? They separated the women and the children. See, there's a reason why they go through procedures like they do. It's to try to render you as helpless as possible before you even realize what's happening to you. And they've largely done that to the United States as a whole at this point. We're in trouble. And we damn well better watch what's going on, and we damn well better speak up. If you are not good with the idea of somebody coming door to door to your home, you better speak up right now, and you better be loud about it. This is not going to lead to a good place. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Want to make sure I get your name right, Charlinda. That's pretty much hits the nail on the head for what I'm thinking. Yes, I think you're certainly onto something. Yep. I'm concerned for this. I am absolutely concerned for this. And of course we got everything else going on, but man, it's one thing for them to use terminology like door to door, and I can't remember what his position is, and I apologize for that. I don't know if he's health secretary or something like that, but he's essentially said that it is absolutely the government's business whether or not you have been vaccinated. And I'm not good with that at all. I am absolutely not good with that. That tells me that there is certainly something more up with this vaccine than what people are being told. So, oh man, yeah, it's crazy, and I know there's a lot of things that they have been putting in place over the years, over the decades. Actually, I know at least the last 2 decades, and I think it's all been building up. And the more I'm looking at this, I'm asking myself, well, how far ahead was this event planned? And it's kind of astonishing now, and I'm not necessarily saying, as far as the COVID-19 being an event and that it was planned way ahead and all. No, 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 no. I'm saying their response to whatever it is that popped up that gave them cause. I mean, that's always good advice, Charlinda. And she had said to post no trespassing and no soliciting signs on your property, your porches and stuff. And make sure to check with your local laws and stuff like that, your county and stuff like that, because they all can have a little bit different stipulations on how you have to have it posted and all that. And it does make a difference from a legal standpoint. So if you would happen to wind up in court, it absolutely matters how you have it posted and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's absolutely mind blowing what is going on. I will have to hang on. Okay, I've got that Googleed and open another window. So I will check that out after the show. Thank you, Charlinda. Yeah, definitely though. Definitely post no trespassing signs, stuff like that, because believe it or not, it holds a lot more weight than what you think, than what a lot of people think. Because it's a legal notice, and that legal notice applies to everyone, plain and simple. The only way that legal notice, to my knowledge, doesn't apply is if they have a warrant. And to my knowledge, that's the only time, and that may even be wrong. I don't know. I'm certainly not a lawyer, and what they call lawyers certainly won't tell you the truth. So, let's see. Trying to think. I would just, like I said, I would be very mindful of this. I would try to stay ahead of the game, so to speak. Keep your eyes and ears open. I know that some people have said something about this has already, door-to-door stuff has already started in some places. I don't know if that is correct or not, or if that, I have no idea. But we might want to real quick, put an end to it, because I have a feeling that it's not going to end well, especially for those that don't want to be vaccinated. There's something up with this. Absolutely something up with this. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Talking about children. Oh yeah, I know all about how it is with children in the court systems and all of that. I'm actually a victim of the family court system. I haven't seen my boys since 2014, which there's a rash of that going on as well. But that's another thing they do is they get the fathers out of the homes, the fathers away from the kids, and then they love to catch the mothers up in like CPS and stuff like that. And I'm it's in my opinion that that's likely how a lot of the child trafficking is going on. So, but they it's no different. I was talking about Operation Mountain Guardian and what they did at the stadium, how they separated the fathers from the mothers and the children, and then they separated the children from the mothers later on. What do you think they're doing in society right now? They're separating the fathers from the mothers and the children, and then they're separating the children from the mothers. They're doing the same thing in a large scale in society. They're doing it with the family courts. They're doing it with entertainment, the media, because they're getting this single parent lifestyle to be the thing. That's the norm. The norm. Dad, actual dad, is a rare thing in entertainment today. Is it not? That's their goal, to weaken this nation as much as they can. Man, the psychological warfare that has happened to this nation for the last several decades is mind-blowing. And it worked well. It worked well. Now, I think they have reached a point, because there is indeed a point, that the majority's like, wait a minute. And I think we're at that time. I think this vaccine, much like something like an outright ban on guns, is a red line. I think it's a red line. But for some reason, and I don't know why, and it is just a feeling of mine, it seems like this vaccine is more important to them, even right at this particular moment, than the guns. But we'll see. It's hard to say what they've got planned, because we have had so much thrown at us in the past, 18 months or whatever. It's hard to even keep track at this point. That it's really hard to keep straight. But I certainly fear that they're going to use the tactics, the techniques, the information from the Jade Helm missions and others, similar missions, to force mandate vaccines, essentially, and to haul off anybody that speaks against them. Again, like I said before, I wouldn't go as far to say that the virus or the release of a virus was pre-planned to the point. I don't know. I think they just seized upon an opportunity. And the one thing for a fact about the government and their toys, they like to play with them. They really don't. care who they play with them on. They've got a lot of new toys to play with. They're kind of pretty well out of countries to tear apart. At least ones that they can successfully do it. So I guess we're next. It doesn't look good. Now I'm going to say it one more time. If you are opposed to this, the idea of them going door to door, you better speak up now, and you better speak loud. And I don't just mean on Facebook or wherever you communicate. I've never asked this of you. I don't think. I don't think. And all the time we've done this, I don't know that I had ever asked you to call your representatives. That even just sounds dirty coming out of my mouth. But I'm asking you to. Call them. And tell them. No. And I mean no. Because you would rather them hear that no then, at that moment, than the no that's heard at your front door, followed up by a mark in a box and a have a good day, sir. Or ma'am. Because I'm telling you, I don't think there's going to be an initial conflict. They're gonna walk through all this real nice and smooth. But once they've identified who's had what and where, that's what I'm concerned about. I've been warning about this for a long time from many aspects. Just from the aspect of look at how many vaccines they made these companies make when the demand wasn't there, and they knew the demand wasn't there, and they were still making these companies pump out these vaccines. And if I'm not mistaken, these companies are still pumping out vaccines. Am I right? For who? For who? Because it's probably safe to say in the United States of America at this point, if you wanted a COVID-19 vaccine, you've had ample time to get one. And it's free. And hey, if you feel it's right for you, go for it. I'm not here to tell anybody not to do it. That's your own personal medical decision. And I'm not a doctor. What I am is a human being, a living, breathing human being, a child of God that doesn't need an unnecessary medical procedure. I just don't. You know, if the concern is, oh, well, you might be a spreader. Oh, yeah? To who? I don't go anywhere. Who am I going to spread it to? The question would be, who spread it to me? That would be the question. Who spread it to me? Because I don't go anywhere. And I realize not everybody can do that. I'm just saying, in my case. Either way, you know the drill, right? You still have to do the same thing, and that's get ready. Because whether it's this, whether it's a half a dozen of other things, things are not getting any better. And the good news is we're not free falling off a cliff quite yet. There's still time. There's still time. I can't tell you how much. The lights could go out in 5 seconds. They may never go out. I'd damn sure rather be ready. I know that. We got a lot of things going on in this country right now. I've kind of tried to focus on this vaccine, but there's a whole lot more going on than that. That is very concerning to me. It really seems like there's a heavy, hard push for division along political lines, and I know, like, duh, but I mean to a point of civil conflict. To that point. That is something to keep an eye on, because with all of this going on at the same time, it will all play off on one another. Absolutely. Oh, I agree. Dot Connector. I was reading what you said. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. 110%. I mean, there's a lot of things in a lot of those vaccines that's a no for me. You know, most of it has to do with the preservatives. So, I don't need any unnecessary medical procedures. I don't get sick. I don't get the flu. I don't, I've got medical issues. Don't misunderstand me. Here's the thing. They want to treat me for things I don't have, but they're not interested in helping me with the problems I do have. Right? That's what gets me. Because I need help. I need to find out what's wrong with my back, my neck. I know what's wrong with my teeth. I don't got any. I need to have that crap pulled out and a set of dentures. Yeah, I need a lot of help. What I don't need is a vaccine. I don't need one of those. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, that whole mRNA thing is makes it a huge, big no for me. Yeah. And it's funny how they keep dancing around what it is. When you ask them about it, oh well, it's not altering the DNA. And then it's gene therapy. And then it's like, well, no, it's not gene therapy. It's something else. And they keep moving the ball on what exactly this is. And it's like, I don't give a damn. It's got NA in it, and you ain't, you know what I mean? It has to do with my genes, and you guys aren't touching it. Nuh-uh. You guys have been doing that in foods and whatnot bad enough for a long time. You're not going to do it with a straight inoculation into my arm or my ass. But yeah, we don't know. You're right too. We don't have any medical at all in this country. It's ridiculous, and I don't know what to think about it. I'm one of those people that I really do try not to get too set in any certain way because, you know, I may not know the best way. And I always try to find a better idea. Always. I never let myself get settled on one thing. And I don't know what the best type of health care system, or I really don't know what's best, but I know there's got to be something better than what we've got going on. There's got to be something better than what they've got across the pond or up in Canada. You know, there's got to be better than that. It's got to be possible, and it can't be that damn hard. I think what it comes down to is to hold people accountable. Is what I think it comes down to hold people accountable. You know, and that can be done in any number of ways, but I think for the most part, just encouraging proper good health would be a good start. You know, that would be a good start. This whole, you know, do what you want, you only live one life kind of mindset here, and I'm speaking to that in many ways, but mainly like health and just letting your like, well, my health is hell, right? And it's not just because I decided to let it go and just let it be. Half of it's I worked myself to death. The other half of it's just genetic issue. But my mom had really, really bad teeth and all that, and it is what it is. But there's got to be some type of maybe a happy medium between the private healthcare system and, I don't know. I don't see anything good with that either. Every time I see private industry and government mixed together, the people get screwed. The people get screwed. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, I never go to the doctor. So that's just the thing. I never even go to the doctor. I don't get sick. So why go, you know? And I don't like doctors, and I really don't like shots and stuff like that. And so I just, for the most part, stay away unless I have to absolutely go. But it's got to be pretty life or death. Not a fan of the medical system, especially now, because now the amount of surveillance just alone is incredible when you go to see a medical professional. It's unbelievable. And then, you know, they've got all this paperwork for you to sign at doctor's offices. I don't know if you've ever questioned them about it, but they don't like that. They don't like it when you question them about that paperwork. Because there was added, like the last time I went, there was some type of added paperwork, and it had something to do with audio and video recording, and it was a new thing, and I think everybody had to do it at that time. All new patients or whatever had to do it. It was just a thing. Another piece of paper on the stack of papers you have to fill out when you go to the doctor, for a particular doctor, for the first time. And it's just like, you know, that really concerned me. It's and I mean, it's not like I got anything to hide or anything, but really, you're gonna record my audio or my video or both, and that could possibly be something that's handed over to government? No. What about HIPAA? Well, that's kind of what this is a part. It's like, what? How is that my privacy? How is recording me protecting me? Just want to know, right? See, it used to be you could go to like your doctor, your lawyer, and you used to be able to talk to them in confidentiality, and you can't anymore. You just simply can't anymore. You're basically your doctor's a government agent. You know, your lawyer's out golfing with the judge and prosecutor, you know, it's just, it's ridiculous. It really is. I agree with you, Ryan. That's actually one thing that I look forward to if something bad happens. I'm not saying I'm looking forward to something bad happening, don't misunderstand me. But that is a part of life that I am looking forward to if something bad happens. Just a much more simple, yeah, it's going to be a lot harder. But in a lot of aspects, it's going to be a lot simpler as well. And especially for those that have at least educated themselves enough on how to cope. I'm not looking at it as such a bad thing. I really don't. I'll have to look up that terrain theory. I'll have to look that up. A lot of interesting stuff I've been learning about recently. There was something else I ran into today too that I've got marked to look into. I can't remember off the top of my head what that was. But there was something else. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get the headlines started and get this week wrapped up. I am tired. I'll still, let's see, tomorrow I'll have Patreon's morning news. I will make sure to get you guys tomorrow. Again, apologies for today. And then, like I say, tomorrow, plan on seeing it. I'll probably separate it up into 2 videos because I want to do planting in its own separate video from showing you the system running without it being actually planted and stuff. So gonna be a little bit of a busy day yet tomorrow too. So, and then as soon as it looks good to get this tin up and do that, I'll be doing that for a day. We've got possible showers for the next several days, so it's just gonna be one of those situations where I'm gonna have to kind of keep an eye on things and try to see if I can get lucky or not. My luck, I'll be all blue sunny skies. I'll get everything all out there, all the camera all set up and all of that, and then pouring down rain. Let's see. Let me get you guys switched over there. So, and then I'll at some point before the end of the weekend, I'll get the vlog all updated to where we are. Right now we're updated to as far as what it is, and then I'll get it updated even further, which should actually be the last update for this part of the vlog. And then after that part of it, I will have a link to the daily update playlist. So, which I'll have a YouTube gallery on the website with the daily update playlist that feeds into that gallery on the website. So you'll see. It'll be hopefully pretty cool. And I'm going to be doing that, by the way, with pretty much all the projects, because you see other project names here because they're projects that we've got started or talked about, and we'll do. So the gardening stuff, there's going to be more added to it. There's going to be like container gardening and trees, because I'm working on that, on getting some trees going. Well, both growing and going. And then solar. Of course, I had the whole Go Power Plus series. I don't have anything done on these pages yet. I've still got to get them up. And then I plan on building a system. We already do have a small system. But that is the area that one of the areas we're going to be working on, and so I want to definitely upgrade what equipment we do have. So that's going to be an interesting project, and then of course the Coleman stove that I want to rebuild. So those projects are already either in the works or planned to be going, and we've got a lot more to come. So fun times, and there will be some stuff that will be exclusive to Patreon, but YouTube's going to have plenty. So if you see it here, it's going to be on YouTube, okay? If you see it done up like this, it will be on YouTube. So because it would make no sense for me to do that and have it locked away behind a paywall. So but there will be stuff for Patreon that will be Patreon only. So let's see. Oh, and one more update, and we'll get started on the headlines. I believe the landlord's going to take me in the next couple of days to check out some wood. He's got wood. We're gonna go check out. We're gonna go check out some wood because he said he's probably got some laying around that would work perfect for my shelf reinforcement project. Because I was talking to him about that today and telling him that someday soon, when I've got the money, I needed him to pick me up some wood the next time he goes to the lumber yard. And so anyway, he's like, well, I'll pick you up and we'll go look. I've got a bunch of stuff out at the house. So expect that video to be coming very soon too, where I show how I turn my $54 shelves into $154 shelves just with some basic reinforcement. Talking about what Catherine said, babe? Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking about the census thing. That's what I've heard. I mean, I've heard that in some instances they just keep coming back and keep coming back. Fortunately, it's not something that I've had to deal with at this point. I mean, to me, this stuff is mind-blowing. The government doing this stuff just doesn't sit well with me. Let's see. All right, we have a set. All right. Start out with this morning here. Arizona. Well, this is when I put it out, was this morning. Probably happened yesterday. Let's see. Arizona Attorney General, greatly alarmed by Biden's door-to-door vaccine push, says he won't tolerate any invasion of privacy. So, I mean, like I was telling you earlier, there is some pushback in government, but not nearly enough to amount to anything. Most of them are lock, stock, and let's go. And that's the way most of them. I don't get it. Rudy Giuliani's D.C. law license suspended pending outcome of New York case over his election fraud claims. Belgium's South Korea envoy recalled without delay as after wife's second brawl with locals. Probably shouldn't fight with him, lady. This is insane. Imagine reading this early in the morning. Half-naked man sets church cross on fire in Los Angeles, hops rooftops, and scales utility lines to escape. I'm just like, well, I actually had to read it a second time to make sure I caught it all correctly. Let's see. No Navalny supporters, please. Founder of Russia's main liberal party tells opposition figures backers not to vote for his group. China's oil industry is undergoing a serious makeover. More contagious Delta coronavirus variant becomes dominant in Germany for the first time. You know, fear. COVID restrictions drag down global air travel demand by 63%, says the IATA. Belarusian activist Protasevich returns to Twitter from house arrest and claiming passenger jet grounding gave him the fear of flying. Elephant that left China's Long March herd and went solo is captured and brought home after wandering too close to the railway. EU asks Russia for talks on COVID-19 jab certificates for travel as France urges bloc to turn away tourists who's had Sputnik 5. I mean, isn't this insane? Not only all of the division just here in the United States over the vaccines, but the division between nations over which vaccines. 100 spend a night outside Bangkok temple waiting for COVID test as Thailand suffers record number of daily deaths. More than half of U.S. states sue Google for extravagant fees in company's app store. And I mean, you get stuff like this, and it's like all you can do is just go, but. More than half of scientists admit to research misconduct. Landmark survey with 6,800 plus participants reveals. That's a fair number of people involved in that survey. And if more than half admit to research misconduct, what can we trust? And we've all known this. This research, it goes in the direction of the highest bidder. That's the way it works. Or the company that's paying for the research to begin with. That's the way it works. We all know this. Taiwan accuses U.S. of causing unnecessary speculation after White House deletes COVID-19 donations tweet. Russia, Iran, and Turkey, I have not seen anything. The only one that I've heard say anything about them possibly going door to door already. Oh gosh, I hope I don't have this wrong, and if I do, forgive me. I think there's a channel by the name of Prepper Dog, and I think it was his video I watched today. It's not confirmed, not at least on my part, so understand that. It's just I heard somebody else say, and I think it was him. It could have been another channel too, so, but I think it was him. So I don't have anything on them going door to door yet, as far as that I can personally confirm. I'm sure that it's not something that will go on for too long before it's widely known. Because there's a lot of people, and this is something that spans, both sides of the major political aisles and stuff. There's a lot of people that is not good with this. It really, the media is going to make you think that it's a right-left thing, and it's really not. There's a lot of people on the left that is not good with this vaccine. Let's see. Sorry, I'm putting out a couple of headlines real quick so they're there by the time we get up to the top of them. So I'm taking a moment to do that. I'm starting actually to get a little more. I do Patreon different. When I do the news in the morning, I actually do it from my pocket too. And so it's a little bit different. And instead of you seeing the screen like you do now, you just get a live stream straight from my Pocket 2 camera. And I've got it set on my desk here. And it's different. I don't know if it's cool or not. It's different. Let's see. Russia, Iran, and Turkey blast Israel for violating international law with Syria airstrikes. Spanish Prime Minister forced to break off news conference in Lithuania to let jet take off for urgent mission. Russian bomber jets practiced taking out targets with cruise missiles in the Arctic just weeks after warning U.S. to steer clear. Chinese gene tech firm rejects factually incorrect Reuters claims about providing prenatal test kit customer data to the military. Now, I'm going to have a sip of tea here, and I'm going to repeat that headline because it's one that needs repeated. Chinese gene tech firm rejects, quote-unquote, factually incorrect Reuters claims about providing prenatal test kit customer data to their military. Now, we've already been suspecting them of looking at different individuals, like their bacterial gut and stuff like that, as a possible way to weaponize bioweapons that would be a little bit more targeted for specific regions, right? And we've already been kind of suspecting this and watching them do research in these areas and gather data in these areas. And I beg to question this. Man, stay away from this stuff that you take a test and send it in to some company. Stay away from it. Let's see. Teletubbies announce COVID vaccination, bewildering fans and angering anti-jab activists. I kind of banned Teletubbies out of my home when I was married, kids were around. No Teletubbies. Nope. China's gaming giant Tencent starts scanning nighttime players' faces to bust curfew-breaking kids. Can you believe that? So now their game system is going to monitor the children at any given time to bust them for breaking curfew. How do you like that? Mixture of COVID-19 and heat causing potentially fatal complications for elderly patients, says head of Moscow's top virus hospital. EU fines major German automakers over failure to deliver cleaner cars after Daimler rats on rivals. Western powers want to weaken Russia and could try to undermine upcoming parliamentary elections, says Foreign Minister Lavrov. Pope Francis spending a quiet day after suffering a high fever, with tests returning a negative result. Woke politicians and sketchy deals in China, conservative group targets MLB via seven-figure ad campaign for All-Star Game. Washington's choice to withdraw troops from Afghanistan is admission that America's mission failed, says Russian Foreign Minister. Most UK troops on NATO mission now out of Afghanistan, rest are returning home, says Prime Minister Johnson. Hungary declares LGBT... I'll get it right, maybe. Nah. LGBT plus activists will be barred from schools as EU opens inquiry into law restricting promotion of homosexuality. U.S. orders amphibious assault ship into Black Sea after Moscow warns tensions escalating dangerously in waters off the coast of Russia. One headline you might want to pay attention to. I mean, they're just doing drills, but there's not nothing for a drill to go live. And that's kind of essentially part of the whole thing, I think, right now, at this point. Transgender youth charity Mermaids fined £25,000 for exposing personal info of trans children and parents online. Fans banned from Tokyo 2020 Olympics after Japan declares COVID-19 state of emergency and IOC pledges to support any measure. Let's see. Is she pro-choice now? Candace Owens ripped for rejecting COVID-19 vaccine and vowing never to force employees to take it. Hungary fines store $825 for misleading customers over children's picture book with same-sex families. Lithuania to build border wall with Belarus as illegal immigration skyrockets, causing Vilnius to declare state of emergency. Think I got that right. Ireland in COVID-19 vaccination race amid potential Delta variant surge, says the health chief. Vatican working with South Korea to organize papal, is it papal? I don't know. The Pope. Why don't we call it the papal? Papal? Why don't we just call it Popal? The Popal trip. We'll call it Popal. Anyway, he's going to Pyongyang, Seoul's intelligence chief says. Why? You know what? We need to, and I don't care which one, whether it's Branson or Bezos, we need to split them up. How about we do that? We put the Pope on one of them, and then we put Bill Gates on the other. Right? Why not? We put the Pope on one of the ships and Bill Gates on the other ship. Because, hey, they deserve to go to space, right? I mean, come on. Work with me here. Let's see. Racism, imperial hegemony, and neo-Nazism. Russian Foreign Ministry slams suggestion the EU shouldn't recognize Sputnik V vaccine. Cops arrest man after football freshman is hospitalized by shuddering one-punch knockout in street fight over mom insult. Yeah. Yo mama, smack. Let's see. Satirical content creator censored by YouTube in error weeks after criticizing YouTube censorship. A Biden administration official says absolutely the government's business to know whether or not you have been vaccinated. That's what I was talking about. And he is the Health and Human Services Secretary. I couldn't remember exactly what his position was. Over 100 medics and scientists pen warning letter on UK government's premature unlocking of England on July 19. UK tops 5 million total COVID cases as Delta variant continues to spread across the country. Hang on, I gotta have a sip of tea. Hanoi imposes movement curbs, halts travel to 14 Vietnamese provinces amid COVID-19 surge. 65-year-old camper pulled from tent and killed by grizzly bear in Montana attack. That's kind of crazy. And apparently, that was like the second time that the bear was there at that camp spot. About a half an hour prior, the bear came roaming around, and I guess they had some food and stuff like that in their tent, so they got all the food and all that stuff out of the tent. And I guess about 30 minutes later or whatever, the bear shows back up, and from my understanding, just snatched the lady right up and killed her. The other two people that were with her grabbed their bear spray and started spraying the bear, and scared the bear off from them. But unfortunately wasn't in time to help the 65-year-old woman. So that's crazy. That's just crazy. Why do you need an AR-15? Because grizzly bears exist. That's one reason. Over 3,800 Germans got sick with COVID-19 following full vaccination. Hundreds were hospitalized, says health watchdog. A catastrophic Tunisia's health system has collapsed amid COVID-19 outbreak. Bed and oxygen shortages, says the ministry. A move over LinkedIn. TikTok enters job marketplace with pilot video resume program. I love talking about election fraud. Trump says he's looking forward to sitting for a deposition in the big tech lawsuit. Biden defends Afghanistan withdrawal, says Taliban takeover is not inevitable. 6 suspects held over president's assassination, police chief says, as UN backs interim PM until elections. And I have heard one outlet mention something about some of the people that they have arrested in connection with this assassination has U.S. ties. I'm just saying. That's what's the word on the street. 3 reported dead in Caracas gun battles as Venezuelan police fight gangs seeking to expand territory. Drunk on the power of his platform, former CNN regular Michael Avenatti sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for extortion. I don't know if I said his name right or not. I don't think I say my name right, so. U.S. spies doctor diversity report cover to add blind man and woman in wheelchair and get mocked for exceptional Photoshop skills. Okay. Economist poll claims 40% of Britons want mask mandate forever. Oh, pardon me. Regardless of COVID-19. The mask thing, whatever, just, you can keep the 6 foot away thing. You could actually increase that to, I don't know, what, 15, 20 feet away? I'd be good. I'm definitely good there. Let's see. Anarcho-feminists, like, could you say hell in any longer of a single, whatever, hyphenated word? Anarcho-feminists storm Austrian newspaper over racist reporting in high-profile teen gang rape and murder case. FDA limits use for a new Alzheimer's drug after backlash and own experts' resignations over rushed approval. I agree. 40% of Britons have lost their minds. Yep. But you know what? I don't trust those polls. Or tolls. Either one. Don't trust either one. The polls. Let's see. New Yorkers trudge through waist-high water as flash floods fill subway stations and shut down roadways. And that's it. That is the last of the headlines for now. So I am going to get out of here and relax. It's been a long week, and it started out kind of, not too bad. And as the week went on, it just got busier and busier and busier. And wow, today was just insane. So I am going to relax for probably about 2 minutes before I get ready to go to bed. So anyway, I hope you all have a great night. I will see Patreon in the morning, and then YouTube, you'll have a couple of videos from me a little bit later on. So y'all have a great night, great weekend as always. God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.